like to introduce Measure Cutting Systems as a thermal cutting pioneer who is serving this industry for more than 125 years, and it is like a family-owned business. Now our CEO is Mr. Stefan Messer, who is there, and the current fourth generation CEO is now taking over this business. And these are like our sister concerns who are already into this industry, serving in multiple and diverse categories, into medical equipments, into gases, and into cutting systems and everything. Looking onto the topic, so what we are trying to do is that integrating resilience. So I thought of just explaining it. What just resilience? It is not just about taking the situation into consideration and bringing back us, but it also to learn from the failures and to change ourselves and to change our business, the way we think, the way we look about the circumstances, and to go on to taking a new risk and new experiences and having a positive growth and mindset about improving ourselves from one to another. It can be technology, it could be the process and whatever it takes for. So a brief about the whole industry of Outlook and how it is directing. There are multiple and huge projects that are coming up in the line in terms of construction and infra. If we see there are many airports, bridges, sports infrastructures, not just that, but including the pilgrimage and tourism. So and every industry is now getting boomed in India, and it is like a huge amount of opportunity for us to take it and then move forward so that we get most benefit out of it. So giving a little amount of spotlight of the projects which are related to the construction and infra industries, that is, we are into the constructing phase of all the major bridges, that is tallest rail bridge in India. We have laid the first cable stayed bridge in India, and we have vertical lift that is in Tamil Nadu, in Ramanathapuram. That's the Pramban Bridge. And we have recently done with the Chenab Bridge, which is the world's highest railway bridge. So all these things, if you see, everything is including steel. There's most of the projects which are under infra and construction uses steel. So that is why the steel is much higher in terms of processing, in terms of usage, in terms of production across India. And even if we see there are many other projects which are coming up in the plans portfolio of the budget, again, we are into production of the steels much higher than what we had before. And we now have new 15 airports which are under construction, and there are 11 industrial corridors across India that is getting developed, and it is about to roll out in next few years. So having known this industry, having understood this kind of opportunity so much huge. So while we took at the indicators of commercial success, so what does it mean? So much of projects. So we could see there are 15,000 crores which is getting invested in Andhra Pradesh, and there are hundreds plus cities which are getting developed, and there are 10 lakh crores of investments for the urbanization. And we see there is a grand necklace of industrial smart cities with 28,000 crores of investment, and there's a shattering record of 70.95 billion FDIs that are into place in 23 and 24 financial year. And we could see there are 45 billion worth of greenfield expressways, not just government, but also including private. So every projects are like huge and mega structures and mega projects. And we see the total rural development, apart from the defense that we take, it is 2,65,000 crores of money that has been there invested within the construction and infrastructure industry alone. We see the railways exclusively. Obviously, there are new lines, gauge conversions, doubling, rolling stock, whatnot, everything. And then it is only for the construction and infra. So while we look into this all projects and we try to summarize it off, how do we get us all these things of steel into infrastructure? And we could basically try to categorize this within railways, PEBs, wagons and coaches, girders, and power plants and manufacturing plants. So we could try to consolidate this within these particular segments where we see that more than 90% of the industry is with steel, and above that, the basic process which is used for processing the steel to the actual components is with plasma and oxyfuel cutting. And that's how we cater to this industry. So before we go into the catering of the products, what is that? Why is that steel much preferred? Because it is much efficient, and it has less dead weight than compared to the concrete structures. And it is very sleek in appearance. It is very elegant, and the installation time is much higher than compared to a normal structure. And most importantly, while we remove or while we decommission that particular structure, it does not go waste. It is a metal and it is a scrap and it has a value for it. So in every aspect, steel is always helpful. So I try to again combine this with the overall picture of the basic requirements of what it takes to be a person who want to do something about this construction infrastructure industry. We have taken few references from the guidelines, from the basic documents of railway. So there are no more masonry bridges, which is the concrete structure that are built, and the steel bridges are the way of life today. That is for two reasons. One is, as I said, it is for quick engineering, and second is also to have the lengthy structures which have the life for its own, and it has more rigid towards any seismic effects. So if we could just refer to the seismic zones, the yellow and blue are the major zones of India. And for that, definitely steel plays a major role. So going ahead, what it takes for a person to be a railway vendor, because he should have a basic machineries and plans with them as a default thing. So here is how they classify it. So the first point itself is like CNC cutting machine for glass and plasma. Again, CNC cutting cum drilling machine and CNC plate drilling machine. So these are like the basic things that any steel or a fabrication person who actually want to contribute his efforts or his products towards steel industry. And again, not just that, when a film cutting is deployed, if you could see on a plate of a long length, a suitable stitching method should be there. That is not actually possible with a manual process. It is usually done with a CNC. And that is how measure cutting system brings their products into the picture. So going ahead, this is a normal process cycle that we talk about. So usually it is a flame or a plasma cutting, then you go for a drilling, then we go for a fixing and welding. So having understood this process, what is that it takes? It takes high productivity. Obviously, that is the need of the hour, and it takes accuracy in jobs because you cannot afford to lose your job, and ease of handling and reduction in post-processing. So moving ahead, so this is one of a flagship model which has all the components, including a vertical cutting, a bevel cutting, a straight cutting, multiple kinds of markers, including inkjets and pin marking, where you can identify the components and things like that. And it's not just with a stationary table, it has also coming with a parallel exchange table where you can have productivity doubled in just one go. And these are like the major features. I don't want to go into the details of it, but this machine is capable of executing all the cutting parameters, all the marking parameters, and all the advancements in the industry, what a CNC cutting machine can be capable of. And even when you look into the operator's point of view, operators can be very, very comfortably trained on this machine in just one day so that he is capable of operating this machine right from the day one that the machine is getting installed. So that is the advantage of this machine. And not just that, this machine is also compatible with IoT software where you can digitize this particular products within your industry, and then you can take multiple inputs, and that is the data for you to improve your productivity in the upcoming days. This is what just I explained. This is a very stationary table, and this is with a hydraulic system, and this is with a parallel system where you can have plates which can be exchanged, where the cutting machine is isolated and your plate loading and unloading can be taken away. So this is again your advancement to improve your productivity. And as many people could see that there are two major players of this segment who supplies the power source. One is the Hypertherm, the other one is a Kelber, and this machine is capable of accommodating either power sources. And there's another flagship model of ours, which is capable up to 32 meters. And this particular machine is exclusively made for PEB industries and structural fabrication, because this is maximum powered with 200 ampere plasma, and it can also accommodate 4 oxyfuel, or we would say it is a gas cutting torches. Again, this particular gas cutting torches are, if you could see, there's a particular valve over here. There's an automatic one. So far, this particular gas cutting torches are like manually ignited, and it has different height variations and things like that. But our machine is capable of providing that solution with ease, that just switch on, the torch is automatically ignited, the plate alignment is taken, and then you go for cutting. Even the piercing is automatically taken. So even if you could see there is a small torch that is pushed away from its position, is because even when you have a plate that is found to be get fouled with the torch automatically tilts from its position, preventing the torch from the damage, so that you can manually fix it back and then just start cutting. It is like a plug and play device. And this particular is also having options like Power Max and up to 200 ampere plasma sources. This comes again, another very big CNC process. This is capable of having a drilling unit separately attached. So you could see the forward station is for a plasma equipment, and the middle station is for the drilling equipment, where you can go for drilling up to 50 diameter, and you can have a tapping capacity up to M30, and you can have a machining length, or the machining span, we would say, that is 250 So all the base plates, or we would say the structural plates, are manufactured. They just cut and then they go for drilling. So we could imagine the kind of effort that it has handled one space to the other space, where initially when it is the full plate is loaded for machine for cutting, and after that they have to take the plates to drilling, and then they have to tack it for stacking with whole set of drilling pack, and then they have to remove it, and then they will have to move the particular plates to the other area. So the kind of material handling, or the time that it takes to move all these plates, is with a huge and huge effort. But that all the problem is sorted out with one single CNC plate drilling machine, where you just have to load the plate on one go, and all the classes with plasma, or with the oxyfuel, with drilling, or with tapping. So everything is done in one go, and then you load the plate directly to the end point, where you can just go for bolting, or you have to go for welding, whatever it is. And this is again capable of with the bevel system. If you want to make beveling, it is possible. And here is one particular sample which is capable of showing all the process that this machine can be executing. The slot milling slot, and it's a tapping one. Here's some machining marking, and say M20 tap, and here's 17.5 drill, and it is 25 degree bevel cut. Not just this, we also have the material automation, and along with this, we supply this material handling unit, where the sheet loading can be done automatically, and there are multiple variants of it. It can be combined into any kind of customized solution, where you just have to load for loading. Yes, it is possible. You're just looking for unloading, it is possible. Or you want the whole system like loading and unloading, still it is done. And these are the other options which are there. This is a complete software package we keep along with the machine, where this is capable of making your particular shop floor, or your particular the whole set of sequential operation into a digitized one, where you just have to know what has to be prepared. Once you know what has to be prepared, our software takes care of it. Just you have to load the drawings into it, and then it gives you a productive nesting plan outside, or we call it as a CNC program. And once the program is known, it is fed into the machine. Once the job is cut, then the system knows it has been cut, and it automatically updates into your ERP system. And the scheduling, the flow of the process, the drilling sequence, the handling sequence, everything is automatic. And you also have a number of insightful data with which you can analyze your production capacity. You can schedule your jobs, you can prioritize your plans, so that it is 100% flexible based on your customer deliveries. And yeah, I think I did try to understand the whole view into just this 10 minutes. Thanks for that. That's the end of my presentation.